to your exhale. And then lift your head up and drop your left ear over towards your left shoulder. So if you can lift up from that space behind your ears so the spine is still extended. Relax into your exhale. And then lift the head up and relax your right ear over towards your right shoulder. Inhale, lifting up through the center. Exhale, left ear over towards your left shoulder. Lifting your head up to the center as you inhale. Look over your right shoulder as you exhale. Inhale back to the front and exhale, looking over your left shoulder. Inhale back to the front. Drop your right ear over towards your right shoulder. Let the chin roll down towards the center of your chest and then lift your head up. Exhale, left ear over towards the left shoulder. Let the chin roll downwards towards your chest. Inhale, lift the head up. Exhale, right ear to right shoulder. Roll the chin down to the chest. Inhale, lift the head up. Exhale, left ear over towards your left shoulder. Rolling the chin down to the chest. Inhale, lift your head up. Take your right hand and walk it out to the right side of it. Take your left arm and reach it up and over, finding a side bend. In this side bend, keep lifting the rib cage up and relaxing your left hip down, lifting up from behind the ears. So sometimes I kind of let the head fall back, let the head extend, lengthening your spine. Big breath in, big breath out. Lifting back to the center. Take your left hand down, reach the right arm up, and then extend outwards through a long spine. Not worrying about how far you can bend over towards the left. Instead, try to make the right side body much longer. Lifting up from behind the ears. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Lift back to the center. Take your right arm back behind you. Lift your left arm up. Feel the backs of your ears lift. Feel your spine getting a little bit longer. Keep that length. Take your left hand over towards your right knee. Keep lifting from behind the ears as you breathe in and softening the belly as you twist into an exhale, looking back over your right shoulder. Breathing in, feel yourself get longer. Exhale, soften the belly, twist deeper. As you inhale, take your left arm and your right arm up and face back towards the front. Let your arms move a little bit in front of you so you have a little bit more wide space on the upper back. And your arms could, of course, be much wider if that feels a little bit better on the insides of your shoulders. Take another breath in, reach up a little bit taller. And then take your left hand back behind your back, twist over towards the left slightly, lift up more through that right arm, and then place the right hand on your left knee, lift up from behind the ears, long spine, breathe in, exhale, soft belly, twisting over towards the right, the left, that's the left, good. Every inhale makes your body longer. Every exhale allows you to create a deeper rotation, even if it's just a tiny bit. Finish the breath out. And then inhale, come back to the center, reach both of those arms up, and then find a place where you're lifting up from those wing muscles in your upper back, feeling an open space in both the front of your chest and the back of your ribs. Seeing if you can pick up the rib cage, pick up the backs of the ears a little bit more. Take a breath in. Exhale, bringing the hands down. Drop your chin down towards your chest. Move your chin around a little bit side to side. Relaxing the muscles in the back of the neck, the back of the head. Bringing your hands down now onto your knees. Let your belly, let your heart roll back so that you find a big stretch along the whole back, and then the crown of your head is going to continue to reach forward. Like you're gonna extend it out towards the screen or perhaps down towards the floor in front of you, just depending on how much you're able to round through the spine and let the back relax. One more exhale. And lifting up. Roll your shoulder blades backwards and together to spread the heart out a bit more. Take the front of the heart and lift it up towards the front of the ribs. Take your gaze and start to look up towards the ceiling. Notice if you get to a point where you're looking up so much that the throat is tight at the front of the back, and then take the gaze down just a little bit more so that you can look out with more intention, more clarity, maybe a little bit less chaos in our flight or fight response. Let the heart float up higher, breathe in, and then settle back in the center. I'm going to take a twist over towards the right side. Take your left hand down to your right knee. And in this twist, we're going to add in a side bend and start our weaving. So as you exhale, reach up and over through the right arm. Take it down to the left knee. Unwind the bottom arm. Inhale, reach it up and over. Exhale, cross and unwind the bottom arm. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, side bend, cross, twist, unwind. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhale. Exhale. A couple more times like that. Kind of rounding around. You can shift on your seat a little bit. Get a little bit more expressive. Moving side to side. One more time each side. Next time you take your left arm up will be the last time. Go ahead and bring both hands down to your knees. Look down towards your elbows. Let the back of the heart stretch out nice and wide. Finish your exhale. And then start to lift up. Unwind your arms. Reach them up in the air, letting the upper back lengthen and reach outwards. If you can pick up the spine a little bit taller, big inhale. Exhale, hands come down into the heart. Take your legs out in front of you, so if you've got them wound up, then you'll extend them forward. If you've already had them extended, then maybe I'm just shifting again on your hips to see if your legs can get a little bit longer. And they're going to start to extend and straighten these legs as much as possible. So toes. The toes drawn up towards my face as well. And then take your arms up. Extended staff pose here, making your thighs really engaged. I'm wearing shorts because you can't see my legs because my floor is flat. I really want to feel these muscles engage. And then lifting up from those back muscles. And then the crown of your head grow up taller. Take another full breath in. Full breath out. And then relax your arms, relax your legs. We're going to take a couple of cat and cow. If you're feeling like being on your knees isn't a good place for you, I think that's going to be the only thing we'll have on our knees. So if that's it, then that's maybe where you might be. You can also have a seat on your chair if being on a chair is better than being on your knees. But we'll come into table pose. Also set your knees up on anything that's squishy if that helps you. But instead of being down on your palms, come up onto your fingertips. So be up just a little bit higher here. And it's a little bit harder to be on the fingertips. If you need to come down to the palms, you can. If you need to be on fists instead of the fingertips, that's okay. But try to be on the fingertips so you can really, you're sucking the floor upwards. And, reach upwards so your heart starts to float up. And we'll stay up on the fingertips as we work through some cat and cow. So as you inhale, lifting the tail, lifting your gaze. Exhale, tucking the tail, tucking your head. Inhale, lifting the heart up and forward. Exhale, rounding through the spine. Inhale, opening up the front. Exhale, opening up the back. Two more like that. Inhale. Exhale, round. Inhale. Exhale. And then come back towards a more neutral spine. I'm going to take the hands, go ahead and shake one of them out. Plant the palm down, take the hand, shake the other one out. Plant the palm down, spread the fingertips out, curl your toes under, and press back into downward facing dog. Most of the down dogs we'll do today will be on the chair instead of on our hands. So we won't spend too long here, but just notice how this down dog feels. You can get your tailbone up, and maybe bending the knees helps a little bit more. And then try to relax your head, just one more breath. And then lower your knees down. You're going to press your hips back towards your heels. Notice my toes are still tucked under. If you can walk your hands back at all to stretch more of your feet, you can. If your knees don't want you to, don't worry about it. Just really try to move back and stretch the bottoms of those feet. And then come forward, shake one hand out, shake the other hand out. Spread your fingertips out, press back into downward facing dog. Just notice if you've got any more space coming back into the shape. Wiggle out through your hips a little bit. Try to drop the head down, extend the crown of the head towards the floor. Push down into your hands so the wing muscles are open. And then bring your hands to your feet to your hands. Come into a fold. Bend your knees as much as you need to for your back to feel okay with this. Just give yourself a moment to shake your head yes and no. And then bring your hands to your thighs. Support yourself coming all the way up to standing. Take a moment to let the blood settle. Feel a little bit more stable where you're standing. And then take your arms and reach them up into the air. Try to lift up from the front of your hips so we're keeping the abdominals engaged. And the arms might in fact be just a little bit more in front of you because you want to reach up and expand across this upper back space. Push the feet down, lift the rib cage up, lift the backs of your ears, feel the crown of the head extending upwards towards the fingertips. Take another big breath in. And then go ahead and lower your hands down to your heart. Take your right foot, you're just going to make some circles around on your ankle and your toes. And go in both directions. And your feet opened and warmed up. And then finding the other side, working around ankle, the toes, try to get out of the toenail side at least a little bit just to make sure that you're getting all angles and all movements. And then coming back to the center, lift up all 10 of your toes, spread them out. Take a look at your feet and make sure that your toes and your knees all face forward. And then lifting up again from the crown of the head, from the backs of the ears, we'll draw the front of the hips up. And then shift the weight over towards your left foot. Lift your right heel up. See if you can get taller before you take the foot up off of the ground for a moment. And then set the foot back down. Shift the weight over towards your right foot. Start to lift the left heel up, get taller, and then take the foot up off of the ground. And then set the left foot down. And then with your breath, you'll shift the weight, lift up taller, lift the foot. Exhale, set the foot down. Inhale, shift the weight, lift up taller, lift the foot. Exhale, set the foot down. And you can, of course, be holding onto a chair or a wall if you need something to be a little bit more stable so that you can focus on the transfer of weight and the lengthening of your spine as you go side to side. The foot doesn't have to lift up far. It might barely even lift up off of the ground. Just do one more time each side. Still lifting behind the ears, softening the forehead. And then setting both feet down. Lift up and spread out your toes. Reconnect them with the mat. Reach your arms up and over your head. And then catch hold of your left wrist. And then reach up and over towards your right. Draw the right shoulder forward a little bit more, so you're a little bit more flat towards the front, and then push down into your left foot to get more length. You can see how that instigated a big reach from the outside of my shoulder up to the fingertips. Pick up the backs of the ears so that the crown of the head lengthens towards the hands. Big breath in. Stay there as you exhale. And then come up to the center, touch the other hand. Lift up and over towards the left side as you push down into the right foot. Keep lifting the front of your hips. Bring that bottom shoulder just slightly forward, just to make sure that we're not folding in too much. Crown of the head up to the hands. Big inhale. Big exhale. And then lifting up. Relax the arms down. Move your shoulders back a few times. Forward a few times. And then come and grab your chair. We're going to start off with a little bit more of our down dog action. You're just going to set the seat of the chair towards you. Place your hands on the seat of the chair. I like to bring them up nice and close to the back of the chair just to make sure that I've got a good stable space. And then I'm going to walk my feet back so my hips are right up above my heels. I'm going to drop my head down, wrap my elbows so that they face towards the ground, and then try to push my hands into the chair as my hips go back away from my hands. And sometimes that makes my elbows want to float up or my shoulders want to float up in my ears. I want to keep ears out of shoulders, elbows facing the floor. Maybe bending the knees a little bit to let that tailbone lengthen more. Oh yeah, today's a tight hamstring day. I need slightly bent knees to let this open up. Reach the crown of your head out to the seat of your chair, the hips away from the crown of the head. Big breath in, big breath out. And look up and forward. Start to walk your feet forward towards the chair. Draw your belly in, stand up. And then we'll step just away from the chair a little bit. You can always, in fact, you can turn it around maybe and have it handy for balance. You're gonna take the right leg and cross it over your left leg. And then bend into your left leg, let the hips sit back. Since you've got the chair that you could hold onto for a little bit more balance, you might take your right foot off of the ground. You might decide that that's not necessary, but squeeze your knees together. And then you're going to take your hand and reach it forward. So whatever hand you're not holding the chair with, reach that forward. Squeezing a little bit more length in the spine. Hopefully you're really feeling the back of that shoulder opening up. Squeeze the knees together, reach the hips back and away from the head out and away from the hips. Finish your exhale. And then stand up, keep the legs crossed. You're gonna try to put that right foot down on the ground now. And then go ahead and lean forward. So you can have your hands on the chair, you can have your hands down onto your shin or onto the seat of the chair. Push down into your back foot. You should start to open up that outer thigh. And then bring the weight back onto your feet. So hopefully we don't need to use too much of the chair. Just start to stand yourself back up again. And then uncross your legs. I'm going to cross them the other way. Move my chair. You can turn around. We're now going to take the left leg and cross it over the right. Bend into the right leg. So that bottom leg is going to be bending so that your thighs can squeeze together. You might hold on to the chair. You might lift your foot up. You might make some other adjustments for yourself. And then the hand that's not holding onto the chair, that's not by the chair, you're going to reach that out and in front of you. This is reminding the heart to stay lifted, reminding the spine to stay long. And the spine is rather long here and really reaching out and not folding in. Squeeze the thighs together, take a breath in, let the air out. Stand up, keep the legs crossed. You're going to put the whole left foot down on the ground, and then you're going to lean forward. And you might start with the hands on the back of the chair, maybe coming down, maybe holding on down here, and it's the outer thigh on the back leg that will be getting that big stretch. So this line right here, your IT band, especially the more that you push into your toes and your big toes. Finish your exhale. Draw the belly in, stand up, uncross the legs. And then bring your feet in pretty close to each other. Sometimes chair pose, we need to have the toes together. I like a little bit of space in between the feet for chair pose. Just make sure if there's space in between your feet, it needs to be the same space in between your knees. So if you don't have your toes together, you can't have your knees together, and they can't be further away. So having that exact same line. Take your hands to your hips. Pull your heart and your head up and away from your hips, and then bend your knees more. Send the hips back. We're going to make Charlie's Angel fingers out in front of us. You just get a little bit more fierce about this. And then you're going to have a Charlie's Angels bubble gun. Just kind of sway it back and forth, side to side. Try to keep your legs stable. Good. Let's see some pretty stable legs. The ones I can see are looking awesome. Finish your exhale. And then straighten your legs. Lift the front of your hips. Reach your Charlie's Angel bubble gun all the way up. And then you can go ahead and blow bubbles back behind you just to make sure we're really stretching out through the belly. It's not a big back bend. Just stretch out through the front. Take a big inhale. We're going to sit back down into chair. Reach that bubble gun out in front of you. Now you want to try to get your heart away from this bubble gun. So we have that big open space behind the heart. Sit the hips back. Make sure your weight's not in your toes, it's in your heels. You can keep reaching the hands out in front of you. It's going to be a little bit harder to try to reach the hands up, but hands are going as far as they can away from your hips. If your elbows started to bend and float outwards, try to bend them and float them downwards instead. Take a breath in, take a breath out. Once again, straighten the legs. Reach up, stretch out through the belly. Maybe let the hands start to drift back behind you if it feels good. Very small stretch here. So take a big breath and then relax the hands down. Find yourself facing the seat of your chair again. Bring your hands down onto the seat of that chair. Walk your feet back so that your hips are above your heels. Then scoot your heels back another inch, just a little bit. Bend into your knees slightly, let the hips drift back away from the head. Let the head extend forward to the chair. Wrap the elbows down. Push the hands into the chair. Push your hips back away from your hands. Try to lengthen the crown of the head towards the seat of your chair, reaching from the backs of your ears. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. And look up towards the chair, walk your feet up towards it. Then go ahead and scooch it out of the way or come to a space where you're a little bit more free of the chair and take your legs out really long. So we've got lots of space in between the feet. We can even check out extending the hands to get about that much space in between the legs. Take your hands to your hips. Lift the fronts of your thighs, lift the front of your heart, draw the shoulders and elbows back, and then lean forward, starting with the heart, finding a bit of a fold. Try to reach the backs of your ears away from your hips. It's a little bit intense in the belly. Make sure it's drawn in. Take an inhale. And then bring the hands down a little bit further. You might bend your knees and place your hands on your thighs. Maybe your hands come to the ground. Maybe you just lift them up a little bit higher. Push into the pinky toe edges of your feet. Big inhale. Big exhale. Draw the belly in. Start to stand back up. Turn your right toes out to the right. Open the arms up. Bend into the right leg. Warrior two. Make sure that your knee is going over your toe, that it's not falling in, that you're really having the same exact line of the knee and your second toe. Turn your heart a little bit more towards your right hand. Let the left hand fall down. Lift the right arm up right from your heart. So we're really stretching and lifting here. Take a breath in. Back to warrior two as you exhale. Inhale, reach that right arm forward. Make sure that you're pulling your right hip back. Relax the elbow down. Lift up out of the shoulder. Take your left arm up and over your head. Push down in the left foot. Tailbone down towards the left foot. Ears up and away from the left foot. Take an inhale, reach out longer. Stay there, exhale. Draw the belly in. Come all the way back up to warrior two. Straighten the right leg. Turn all 10 toes to face back towards this side. And then continue over towards the left, turning your left toes all the way over. Maybe make an extra scooch of your right toes in, and then settle down bent in the left leg. Make sure that the toes go over the front knee. You feel very long on this inner seam. Turn your heart over towards the left fingertips. Relax the right arm down. Lift from the heart. Right up to the hand, peaceful warrior. Don't worry about falling back. Lift up, find that spinal extension, that higher consciousness, that lift in your beautiful fluid spine. Take an inhale. Exhale to warrior two. Inhale, reach out over that leg, draw the hip back, take the elbow down. Make sure to open up that bottom shoulder and then open up the outside of the top shoulder. Reach a long diagonal line from the fingertips back to the back heel. Equal energy in the fingertips and the heel, that is to say quite a lot of it. Inner thighs lifting, backs of ears extending outwards. Take an inhale. Stay there as you exhale. Draw the belly and lift back up to warrior two. Straighten both legs, turn all 10 toes to face forward. Bring your hands to your hips. Draw the elbows back, let the heart lift up and forward, lean forward. When you feel like you have a bit more space, come as far down into a hold as you feel comfortable with. If your balance feels okay, wiggle your head around. If your balance does not feel okay, just try to relax the back of your neck and keep your head stable, keep your body stable. Push more into the pinky toe edges of your feet. Finish your exhale. Draw the belly in. Come all the way up to standing. Take your time. And then try to work around the feet a little bit here. See if you can draw the heels in a bit, and the toes in a bit, and the heels and the toes. And if this is just not quite working, you're on carpet, you've decided it's just not worth the effort, you can always stop my mat and start to come back with me. So just stop there. Take your right foot forward and your left foot back. Find warrior one. You can see I've got a little bit of space right to left between my legs. Reach my arms up. Trying to get both hips to face forward. My knee faces out the same direction as my second toe. Catch hold of your left wrist and then side bend over towards the left. When I do this, my right hip wants to come forward and my knee wants to come in. Instead, I'm going to draw that right hip back, which sends my knee forward. Take an inhale. Relax into your exhale. And then lift up to the center. Straighten your front leg. Bring your hands to your hips. Draw the elbows back. Send your heart forward over your toes. Breathing in. Breathing out. Draw the belly back. Come to stand up. Step your left foot forward. And then move the right foot back. Finding warrior one again, making sure you've got just a little bit of space in between the legs. Lengthening that left knee forward. Reach the arms up, catch hold of your right wrist. Lift up through the rib cage. Side bend over towards the left. Making sure that you're drawing your left hip back just slightly to keep those hips both facing forward and the knee facing forward. Relax the shoulder blade away from the spine. Breathing in. Breathing out. And you back up, separating the arms, feeling the upper back, lift those fingertips up. Bringing the hands down to the hips, straightening your front leg. Pull that left hip back slightly, lean your heart forward over your front toes. And then instead of looking forward, you can see how my spine gets folded here. I'm crunching the back of my neck. Reach the back of the neck out long as well. Ears away from hips. Inhaling. Exhaling. Draw the belly in. Lift back up. Step your right foot forward to meet the left. Come back to the chair once more before we start taking this back down onto the ground. Just come into that hands on the seat of the chair, downward dog. Walk your feet back, make sure the knees and toes face forward. Give yourself a big stretch, elbows point at the ground, strong arms, long spine. See how much more you can reach your tailbone, your sits bones back away from your ribs. Settle into your exhale. Look forward, walk your feet up to your hands. Lift up off of the chair when you're ready. You can move that aside and start to come down into a seat. Just come down onto the ground. If you are not a big folder, you're going to grab a cushion. If you would rather sit on a chair, if that's a little bit easier, or you can of course sit on a chair, maybe just extend a leg out in front of you for a bit. Bend into your right leg so that your left leg is out long in front of you. I'm going to start to draw the heart forward towards the toes. You can bend this leg a little bit if you have any tension in your lower back. You want to try to bring the belly and the thigh closer together. Take your left hand onto your left hip and kind of draw it back just a little bit. Sometimes it lifts up and we fold to the inside of it too much. Try to keep the hips even. Take an inhale and exhale. And then lift up. And you're going to turn over towards your bent leg, slide the left hand down, and then reach the right arm over. You'll see I've got it more over my nose. So I'm stretching the back of my shoulder blade. Relaxing the right hip down. Big breath in. Big breath out. Draw the belly in, lift yourself all the way back up. And then switch sides. So you'll take your left leg and extend the right leg out. I'm going to bring the thigh and the belly as close together as you can. As close together as your body will allow. Reaching out from the crown of the head, really extending out rather than trying to hold and punch in. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. Lifting out. And then turning towards your bent leg, sliding the right hand out, and then reaching the left arm up and over the nose. So you're a big stretch in the backs of the ribs, back to the shoulder. Backs of ears lengthening out. One more breath in. One more breath out. Lifting yourself all the way up. You're going to extend the legs out. Let's stay up on your cushion. Lift your toes. Try to make your legs really straight. Reach your arms up. Reach up from behind the heart. So a little bit wider behind those shoulder blades. Lifting the backs of your ears away from your shoulder blades. You can push the feet out, push the hands out. Big inhale. Exhale, hands come down. Relax your legs. Take your thumbs in front of all of your other fingers. So you're making your thumbs into a barrier. You're going to push that barrier aside like you're bursting through a gate a couple of times out through your fingertips, which, as we know, is often a good hint that we're probably going to be on our hands again. But we're working out to make sure that the blood's really flowing here and that we're strong through the palms. I want to come back into downward dog just one more time, just as an observance to see how the spine is feeling about it, how the arms are feeling about it. We've done some stuff to really bring some strength and some space to the outsides of the shoulders, finding a long spine. You might find this to be a good time to just explore the shape again. So if you need to come out a bit faster, then come out a bit faster. But before you get in there, go ahead and take the hands out in front of you. Just practice pushing the hands forward, the heart back. So get a little bit of heat building up back here and right here. Lift the crown of the head up, breathe in. Breathe out. And then downward facing dog. So again, you may have a very short visit. You might go back to the chair instead of having your hands planted down on the ground again. Go ahead and set the hands up underneath the shoulders, curl the toes under, lift the hips of downward dog. Your knees might still be very bent. Tailbone away from the head, crown of the head goes down, elbows face the ground, push into your hands, feel that lengthening, that extension up through the pelvis. Just notice how this one felt compared to the other ones or compared to other days. No judgment, just observe. Take a breath in. Exhale, lower yourself down. Take the legs out in front of you. Bring the soles of the feet together. Hold on to your ankles. Find a moment to lengthen the spine again without having any pressure on the arms. And draw yourself in. Maybe you place your elbows at the sides of your thighs. Your feet might be closer, your feet might be farther away, your feet might be farther apart from each other. Just any general opening into your legs that allows you to relax the spine a bit further forward. Inhale. Big exhale. Try to lift yourself back up. We're going to come down onto our backs. If you have a block that you can rest at your occipital ridge, that space right at the back of your head, those little bony nubs, you can set the block there to give yourself the massage that we often do. You can use a big heavy book. Or I've also found that this can be pretty helpful. You're going to make a fist with your hands. So my thumb is inside there just so it doesn't get in the way. And it's actually going to be the pinky finger edge of the fist. So my thumb stays behind me. I put the pinky finger side of my fist right into those occipital ridges. And just go ahead and lay on back. If you have a lot of hair, you'll have to move it. And then you're just going to gently push your head back onto your fist, just very gently. And give yourself a little release of that space where we often hold so much tension. So many muscles around the head and the neck, especially around the head, that we don't often think about. So we'll relax the muscles in the connective tissue here. And in that relaxation, in that space, finding more openness in our crown chakra, third eye or Ajna chakra. Big breath in. Big breath out. Go ahead and take your hands to the back of your head using your fingertips to lift your head up. And then coming up on to your elbows. We're going to take fish pose, walking the elbows in nice and close. Sometimes longer legs feels better, sometimes bent knees feels better. I find it's worth it to test it out because it seems to be different every time. We're going to draw the shoulder blades up into the back of the heart lifts up, and then we're going to drop our crown chakra back. It could be drop it back here if your neck doesn't want to go any further. Sometimes the shoulder blades can come together and support the head, which allows this to feel a little bit more yummy than it might other times feel to drop your head back. Let the heart float up, breathing in. And then drawing the belly and lifting the head back up, softening the heart down. And then come down all the way onto your back. When you get there, rock your hips around a little bit to soften back. Use your arms out in front of you or out above you towards the ceiling. We're going to bring the elbows and the palms together like eagle arms, so you can have this unwound variation where your elbows and your hands reach towards each other. So you really want to squeeze those elbows in. Or take one elbow, wrap it on top, try to press your palms together. And then reach your elbows away from your heart, maybe up a little bit more towards your nose, but definitely out away from your heart. Nice big stretch to the backs of the arms. Use those muscles a lot today. Finish your exhale. Unwind the arms or release them from each other. And then bring the elbows and the hands back together again, or wrap the other elbow on top. Maybe palms come together. Heart drops down to the ground. Elbows float up and away from the heart. Big inhale. Big exhale. Unwinding the arms. Stretching them out towards your sides. Leave your feet down on the ground. We'll take 2 twists. This one for the fronts of the thighs. Go ahead and drop your knees over to the right. We have a little bit more stretch to the fronts of the legs. Reach that left knee out and away from you. This whole thigh front, this front pocket is opening up. Finish your exhale. Draw the legs back up and let the knees go over towards the left side, stretching out the front of this thigh and the front pocket space. Big breath in. Big breath out. As you lift the hips or the knees back up, bring the knees in closer to your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. Rock around on your hips. And then you're going to let the arms open up again. Try to keep the thighs a little bit closer to you as you let both knees go over towards the right. So this will be a deeper twist. If it's too much, move your knees further away. You feel good having the legs in close. Maybe you take your right hand and put it on that top thigh so you can press down gently. Maybe feel a little bit more twist. Maybe that lets your left ribs roll away a little bit more. Inhale. Exhale. Release the thigh. If you're holding it, draw the knees up. Take them both over towards the left side. Maybe your right hand, or sorry, your left hand presses down on the right thigh. Reversing myself the whole thing. Maybe your right ribs are able to roll more towards the mat just because you're holding and connecting with the right thigh. Softening with your exhale. Breathing in, breathing out. Coming back to the center, bringing your knees into your chest again, rocking a bit side to side to relax the low back. Whether hanging out here with the knees closer together, you could open the knees up, you could grab for your feet and keep them close to your hips, or you could open your feet up a little bit more, finding happy baby. Feel free to hold on to your legs instead of your feet if that's more accessible to you. You get a little bit playful around the legs and the pelvis. You just see errant limbs kind of floating around on the screen. I love that we can still see each other a bit. When you've had enough of that, go ahead and bring the knees back in, bring them close together. Hold the backs of your thighs, extend your toes up to the sky. Your knees might still be very bad. I'm not really worrying about any abdominal engagement. We've already done quite a lot of folding here. So letting the body be upside down for a moment. If this does feel very intense, try to wiggle your toes. Inversions can be very soothing to the nervous system. They bring us into the present moment. If you would prefer to take your Shavasana with your legs up against the wall or your feet up on a chair, any of those things are available to you. Otherwise, we'll start to settle down, bringing the feet onto the mat, staying there for our final resting pose, maybe extending the legs out, letting the feet flop open, and the palms face up. Knowing that you can always adjust the space, maybe you take a seat in a chair or sitting up against the wall instead. Take a few minutes for yourself, allowing stillness and breath. To be human is to be a miracle of evolution, conscious of its own miraculousness. A consciousness beautiful and bittersweet, for we have paid for it with a parallel awareness not only of our fundamental improbability, but of our staggering fragility. To make that awareness bearable, we have evolved a singular faculty that might just be the crowning miracle of our consciousness: hope. Hope and the wise, effective action that can spring from it is the counterweight to the heavy sense of our fragility. We hope precisely because we are aware that terrible outcomes are always possible and often probable, but that the choices we make can impact the outcomes. These words call to us as yogis in connection with surrender, Ishvara Pranvihana, knowing that there are things greater than us that we cannot control. But also in tapas, the continuous action, the willingness to do that which is hard and that which is necessary, because there are things that we can control if we remain connected, if we remain dedicated to our path. If you haven't already, start to wake yourself up, bringing yourself up towards a comfortable seat. Take your time getting there. No rush. Mute us all. Once you get up to your own feet, your hands together, lift your heart up. Let your forehead soft, head lift. We seal our practice with one deep breath in.
It's okay.
Bowing down to the love and light that guides each of our
Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to see your dog, Susan.
Thank you. It's fine until the end. Thank you,
Keep going.
He does a great melting.
Good.
That's good.
Right. I'm gonna tune out.